Hello everybody. I just uploaded a video like about 2 hours ago. And yeah, and I wanted to say something, like add something to that. I was talking a lot about change and transformation and metamorphosis and what that means and the fears that can arise and also like the issues that we might face in the face of change. And yeah, I was uploading the video and on YouTube and also on Instagram, but anyways, I checked whether the video uploaded correctly. I always do this, I click on the video, see if it plays, and just pick a random. I just jump right into the video at some point and just listen to that. And I was hearing myself talk about that I know a lot, which is true. I do know a lot. There's also like a lot of stuff that I do not know. But like let's not get into the topic of the truth or like knowing things, and because actually in actuality we humans know actually very, very little. But anyways, this is like, it's kind of like it's not. Yeah, so I said sorry. I said that I know a lot, but that there's a lot of stuff that I didn't quite embody yet. And even though that is true, there is, like stuff that I feel that this is my path and I want to go there and I want to get there. I'm getting messages. I really want that. And I know that I am not at this moment, I'm not embodying that full truth of mine yet. However, I was like thinking, like I was listening to me saying that, and I was like, why do I so many times, so often say things in a way where I'm like actually kind of like almost putting myself down? Sometimes I'm really putting myself down. I'm playing small, and I'm like, like kind of like, how do you say that? I forgot. I did the word is not coming to me, not even in German. But I kind of like almost dismiss what I'm saying. I'm like saying it in a way where I'm like, yeah, but I also could be wrong, or like this and that. Anyways, the bottom line is I'm putting myself down and I'm making myself smaller, because in this case, like I said, that there's a lot I know, but I'm not really embodying it. And even though that is true with some things, there's also a lot of stuff that I did already accomplish and that I am already embodying. So, like it's like it doesn't seem like a big thing. And in this case, it might also not be such a big thing, but I very, very often notice that, very, very often within myself. And I also know where this is coming from. And that, of course, is part, like that's conditioning in my case. And I mean, like everyone else who is suffering from the same pattern, probably too, like that's very much conditioning. It's like I was always very loud and talked a lot. And people did not like that very often. I mean, some people did, thank God. But a lot of people, especially people in authority, did not like that. And so they told me to be quiet, to not take up so much space, basically. And what I'm going through right now is like a process where I'm really, really, this is like almost to what it all comes down to, like taking up my fucking space, reclaiming my space, my voice, like to reclaim the full power or the full spectrum of your voice, to reclaim all the space that you need in order to express yourself truly, authentically, with everything that you are, and without feeling ashamed of that. And that is, for me, like, wow, it has been a long path, because I have been conditioned away from that so much. Oh my God. And I mean, on some levels, right? But yeah, it's in some ways it's been very extreme, and I faced real like punishment whenever I stood in my power and voiced what I had to say, voiced my opinion. Oh, goodness. It's been a long journey for sure. And I don't want to, let me just think about like how much I want to share about this, because like if I share fully, like with full disclosure, I would have to talk about other people, and I don't want to do that, at least not to like, I want to be respectful to the people who are involved in this trauma and the whole topic. Yeah, I can, so like there have been men in my life who did not like me being loud, who did not like me claiming I want to say claim my needs. I know that that's probably not an accurate expression, but or like, like not a saying, but that's just how it feels. That's just how I feel it right now. I wasn't allowed to claim my needs. I wasn't allowed to express my needs, and not only to men, but also to women in my life. But especially with women, there have been many women in my life who were jealous of me taking up space, and also I think felt threatened, and that is both for men and women. People feeling, let's just call it people, people feeling threatened by me being a proud, loud person. And I don't mean proud in a, like in an arrogant kind of way, because as a child, they're very, like there are not many children who are arrogant. That's not a thing for children, all right? So like, of course, some children, like there can be issues there, but usually that's also like, if that is the case for a child, then of course that is learned, right? Like that's a thing yet that you also get conditioned into, because usually children are not just little a-holes. Right? So like it's just what grown-ups teach them to be, or how grown-ups teach them to be. Anyways, I was not like that. I was maybe, like with every character trait that you have, there is an upside of that character trait, but there's also a downside of that character trait. And of course, like that I was, and I think this is also like, like when you see, or how I get to see that this is like kind of like almost like the upside of trauma is that there's also like a blessing often, like always actually, within the experiences we make. Today I heard someone say that trauma is not what happened to you, but how you responded to what was happening to you. And I thought that was actually quite smart. And even though I'm not sure we always need that kind of differentiation, but it's actually, like when you trauma happens when you do not react in the moment that the trauma happens, or like that you have a negative experience that shocks you or whatever, when you do not express how you truly feel and what you truly need to express in that moment, but suppress it. And then this is like how trauma gets locked in your body, in your system, and becomes an unhealthy pattern. Anyways, something is like, someone is outside. I don't know if you can hear them like making a squeaky noise with like, I don't know what. It's a little unnerving. I hope you can't hear that. So what did I want to say? So yeah, that is like actually what I've been dealing with right now, like very, very much trying to like this pattern of putting myself down is coming from like that developed as a defense mechanism, as a protection mechanism. And what is it called, the word that I'm looking for? I forgot. Anyways, but that's like, yeah, it's a mechanism that kicks in order for myself to protect myself. So if people feel threatened by your intelligence, by your beauty, by your loud voice, your leader skills, your maybe, you know, like singing. I was always singing and like talking about it. So like it's like, but whatever. Like if people feel threatened by you, then they will start to put you down, right? Like they will like try to shut you up, or treat you in a way, like humiliate you, or try to put you down. And that was like, I experienced that many times in my life as a child already. I was like there are not many videos of me as a child, like very few. We didn't have a video camera, at least, yeah, at least not until I was a certain age. But the few videos I have of me as a child, I can see that I was already so disturbed and so unsure within myself, like so unsure of who I was, and like so insecure, and like always like feeling what's the word? Looked at. I'm looking for another word, but yeah, being watched in a way, and like you like being in the, not that sounds weird. It sounds as if I was paranoid, but like watched in the way of like controlled, you know, like that sounds even more paranoid. In a way of like, you know, like I needed to be very careful of how I behave and what I show to people. And so my authentic expression was shut down in a very early time of my life, very early age. And yeah, and then, you know, like that is a big issue for people, like not only for me. I know that this happens to a lot of people actually. But yeah, so when you shut down your authentic expression, then what happens is that you actually, you know, like you're being very cautious. You're putting on masks to hide your truth. Even you're suppressing your truth. You're not being loud or noisy or happy. You know, like often I was loud because I was happy. You know, yeah, hey, and yeah, so like I started to suppress that, and then actually your whole system becomes a prison, because you are training yourself because you want to protect yourself from getting harmed from outside. So you're starting to harm yourself. And that's really, it's so sad. It's so fucking sad. This is like something that is really interesting, kind of like disturbing, but also important to understand that we ourselves are our worst critics. We ourselves are our worst nightmares, because it is us. We don't allow ourselves to be who we truly are. And yes, those things happened to me, and I was a small child and stuff, you know, like, but I am not that child anymore. So, and still as a child, I made that decision to hide and to suppress. And of course, you know, like, I don't want to blame the child that I was, absolutely not. But you know, like, it's a very normal thing to do. Of course, you know, I wanted just to be safe, and connected, right? Yeah, there's a lot of fear around being rejected or abandoned. That's very often one of the main reasons why people suppress and deny their truth, their true nature. That's one of the main reasons. Because yeah. Anyways, all right. So where was I? Yeah, so like, but yeah, it is, you know, like, it's me. I am not allowing myself to stand tall. I am not allowing myself to claim the space. And I'm like, really, like, as I'm saying this, I'm sure you can feel the emotion that is running through my body when I'm saying this. There's like such a need and desire to reclaim my space. And you know, that's also, I think that was very interesting for me within the last 2 or 3 weeks, that it all came down to space, taking up space. And you like, it doesn't matter in which area, whether it's in my business or in actual space, you know, like as in, okay, where do I want to live? Which places do I choose for myself? And I'm very often, I chose to stay in places that I actually didn't really like, that actually didn't really fit for me. And I chose those because I didn't feel that I deserved better, because I didn't allow myself to take up the space that was right for me. Oh, I'm sure you can feel me here. And I'm also sure that this resonates for a lot of you. So yeah, so like you know, like even though all these things happen, blah blah blah, it's me. I am the one who can free myself. I'm the only one who can free myself. And this is also for any kind of trauma. It does not matter what you're suffering from. Like, you know, like I have like people in my life also, and I've been there for sure, who are secretly still waiting to be saved and rescued. And I know that, you know, like I think this is such a valid wish, such a valid wish. I totally understand that. I've been there. I also wish that sometimes, and especially if you're like, you know, I think like sometimes you think like, well, okay, all these stupid things happened to me and trauma was being caused, and now I have to do everything myself in order to get myself out of there. That doesn't sound very, you know, like that doesn't sound fair. Right? But that's how it is. That is how it is. And I've also like made a video about this, like something called with hero maybe, or victim mode. I'm not sure. Maybe I will link it if I post this on YouTube. I can link the video down below, because I get into that. Because the truth is, at some point we just have to accept that there won't be anyone helping us or saving us. Help is always there, but we are the ones who need to save ourselves. We are the ones who need to allow ourselves to take up the space to what did I say earlier? To claim my needs. So I was not allowed to have needs, especially not mine specific needs. And you know, like this was not coming from, I mean, in most cases with people, was not coming from sorry. That was never coming from an evil place or something. Nobody wanted to hurt me or something intentionally, or at least very few people. I mean, most people are not evil. That's also very important to understand. I mean, like on a whole different topic here now, but that's like one of the most important lessons, or like things that we need to understand as humans right now, with all the bullshit that is going on the planet. That is what we really, really need to understand. That most people do not act from an evil place. They don't want to hurt others. They want to protect themselves, even though that, of course, doesn't justify the things that they sometimes do. Anyways, so where did I want to go with this? So yeah, so like I am in this process, and it's a deep process. I'm like really restructuring myself. And like this is interesting. This is an interesting word, because this, I just realized that this word also came in a couple of weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, with an email that I received from a woman who offers feminine structure courses or something like that. I didn't read the email. I just read the headline, and then I put it away because anyways. But yeah, because in the other video I was also like talking a lot about structure, and that the old structure needs to fall apart before the new structure, the new matrix, or the new reality and the new things that we want can come in. And you know, when I was like, just before I hit the record button, I was like thinking about like me being, I'm still struggling so much with that. Or no, I don't want to say still struggling. I have still been struggling so much with this shame that I put on myself, this shame of being too loud, this shame of like taking up too much space. That's actually not a thing. Of course, like it's only a thing if it comes from an inauthentic place and a place of the ego. But if it's your truth, if you're just a loud person, it's not something to be ashamed of. Of course, you know, like conscious, like, so not as not to overpower others all the time. And that is like what I actually went for earlier, and then I forgot and didn't finish. That's actually like the upside of this trauma that I experienced, because it kind of like made sure that I wouldn't do that. Because I think that within my design, there is a big possibility of me becoming arrogant and overpowering. However, not anymore because of all the trauma. I mean, on the other hand, especially even through the trauma, like sometimes it's always a choice. It's always a choice in which direction you want to go, and whether you want to move through the trauma or through the experiences that you have had with the grace, and like in order to evolve with the will for evolution in alignment with the highest good, because evolution only happens in alignment with the highest good. Or if you're resisting that, and you're choose to act from a place of pain all the time instead of moving through it. But yeah, that for me was like kind of like the blessing of this, like, because I understood, wow, with all this potential that I have, and like, and I'm just like, I'm not saying this in a like again like arrogant way, like all the potential, but like just like everybody has a certain amount of potential, and like with that potential you can do good and you can do bad, and again, that's your choice. But with all this potential that I have, there is a possibility that I could have chosen to harm people. And because my path was quite difficult, I would say. I mean, there are definitely also pathways that are more difficult than mine, but I think mine was, it was something. And so I think that was like kind of like made sure that I wouldn't do that. Knock on wood. No. I already chose, and I would always choose the high road, even though of course you're always getting challenged, right? Like you will get challenged, and that is why it's so important to know yourself. And realize that you actually do not know yourself. Anyways, that's a different topic. But yeah, so with the potential you have and with the design you have, it is of vital importance to show that, to be that, and not to judge that, and not to shame that. And I have still been doing this, and I've like really like realized this within the last 3 weeks. And I've been doing this in the last video, where I I put myself down, not like in the worst case possible case, but or not worst possible way, but I did that. I didn't allow myself to also like say like, hey, I also like I came a long way. I'm proud of myself, and I really am, because what the fuck, I worked hard for this. Now the German is coming through at me. I worked hard for this. And this is, this is all perfect actually, because it's really part of what I was thinking about. Because in Germany, we have this tendency to be extra hard on ourselves and on each other. And it's something that oh my God. You need to work hard for the money. She works hard for the money. I think that's actually a song about a prostitute. I'm not so sure. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Anyways. Maybe it's not true. Maybe I'm mixing it up with Private Dancer by Tina Turner. I'm not so sure. Anyways, it's not the topic. But yeah, in Germany, that is like, I mean, compared to some other countries, of course, there's always like also other countries where might even be harder, but we tend to be not very kind. The reason for that is that we are very hard on ourselves. We're very hard on ourselves. We have this shame and this guilt from all these years, and instead of moving through that and really, really facing the fucking shadow, like massive shadow that hides within that, and that shame and that guilt, we try to put it away from us and project it onto others. Anyways, I didn't really want to get there, go there in this video. So let's just keep it personal for today. This is a huge topic. I will talk about it at another time. Anyways, so what I, like, you know, like a couple of weeks ago, I was I was having coffee with my sister and my father. And when my sister and me, when we are together, we're always like goofing around and like, you know, like just being silly and loud and crazy. And, you know, like people probably look at us, I don't know, but maybe sometimes. And we were like doing that. And then my father told us, will you guys behave? And I was getting at him and like was like, that is not our job in this lifetime. And I had to laugh so hard about myself, but that is exactly what I think. That's not my fucking job. It's not my job to behave. Oh my God. And I, you know, like, but I was mistaken. I thought my mission, like, because I was so conditioned, on some level, I thought that was my job. Behave, Hannah, behave. Shut your mouth. Don't talk too much. Don't talk too fast. Which, of course, I am doing constantly because that's just how I am. And so I was trying to repress myself because so many people gave this feedback to me that this was wrong. But that's just their own fucking shame, all right? They are probably ashamed to be around me or like be with me or seen with me or heard with me or whatever. But that's not my problem. That's not my problem. That's theirs. That's their shame and their guilt. And the best thing that I can do is to not give a fuck about what they are saying and yeah, and like doing that by showing who I truly am, and by yeah, like showing who I truly am and being loud and noisy and not constantly excusing myself for talking so much, which I very often do. And I'm annoying myself with that. It's just so deeply trained in myself. Just one more thing, you know, like there has been a time, like in 2016, I was taking part in a training. And there were like two people, and they constantly told me, Hannah, you talk too fast, you have to slow down. And they were angry at me even, you know, like, and I was thinking like, you two guys, like you, like one was a guy and one was a woman. It doesn't matter. It was like, you guys, they talked so slow that I was like, you know, like, oh my God, please just say it. And I was like, sitting there, you know, like I was not yelling at them. I was not telling them, you gotta talk faster. You are like a snail in like on slow motion. I was not giving them shit about who they were. You know, like I was patient, or like I tried. At least I tried. I was sitting there for hours and listened to them. Whereas they chose to criticize me for how I talked. And that is, of course, because probably they felt like, you know, like that they had a disadvantage because they weren't able to follow me. Which, of course, I can understand. And, you know, like, I'm not saying don't be, you know, like if I talk to them personally, of course, I want them to understand me. So, you know, like, I will try to keep it a little slower and stuff. But still, you know, like there's absolutely no need for criticizing me for that, because that is how I am. That's a part of my design. That's a part of my expression. And anyways, so yeah, I think, is there anything more that I want to say with this? I think that this video is like actually like almost helping me to get something, like process all of that actually. Yeah, so like I think, like, I hear this sentence in my head, like, this is not my job. It's not my job in this lifetime. And that is like what the people in my life who, of course, you know, like they on one level, actually they don't. I wanted to say they want me to be happy, but that's actually not the truth. Because if they wanted me to be happy, they would actually look at me and see who I actually am, instead of criticizing me and waiting for me to become the person that they want to see. Yeah, I had like very interesting, I stepped up for myself recently and told a lot of people peace of mind. Not in a bad way, not in an angry way or something, but that was like long overdue. Oh my God, like long overdue to do this for myself. And I always was so respectful. And it had nothing to do with respect. It was just me, like I always thought I don't want to hurt the other person. But instead I was hurting myself the whole time. Ages. Years of self-harm. And that's not helping anyone. I'm actually taking other people's chance to evolve themselves by protecting them. So they don't hurt their feelings by just speaking my truth and being truthful and telling them to back off and they get on my nerves, right? Kindly, of course, like I always like I think like you don't have to. I'm not a person who thinks that's. I mean, sometimes you gotta be angry. That's okay. Or anger in and of itself is not a bad thing. It depends, of course, how you express that. But of course, I'm definitely very much a friend of expressing these things kindly, or at least not unkind. But yeah, wow. So yeah, this has been an interesting process. A lot of stuff is changing. I'm very happy about that. It's been intense. It's been not intense, no. I mean, not intense in a bad way. It's been intense, but not in a bad way, in a good way. It very much feels like liberation. Like finally allowing myself to say what I actually really want to say. And this is like also, you can hear this within some videos, and like the language just doesn't want to come out because I am restricting myself, because I don't want to tap on people's toes. I mean, I really don't want to tap on people's toes. Like I don't want people to. Don't want to give people a platform to attack me, to criticize me, because that happened so many times when I was younger. So many times. And that was very painful. That was very, very painful. Anyways, it's not worth it anymore. And as I said, that is not my job. It's not my job in this lifetime to be quiet. It's not my job to do it like everybody else. It's not my job to take a normal job, and complain every day about that job, and like say that I'm like so happy that it's only 3 more years until I can retire. So I don't want to do that. That is not my job in this lifetime. Absolutely not. And so many people still think, like in my circle, like not so many, but a couple of people there still who think that this is what will help me and what will make me happy. And I'm like, do you know me at all? That's absolutely that's not why I'm here. That's not what I'm here for. Absolutely not. And I mean, I might take a job that is nice and that brings fun. But yeah, so it's not my job in this lifetime to live a normal life. That's not what I signed up for. Thank God. Oh, boring. I mean, and this might be like, if that suits you, then that's perfect. I'm happy for you. If that is what feels right to you, amazing, do it. So, but for me, it's not the right thing. And I would, like I was suffering from severe depression for almost 30 years of my life, for good reason, because I was trying to press myself into a system and into a structure that was not for me, that was very, very restrictive for my system, for myself, for my design. So I will not do that ever again. Whew, I said it all loud. I said it on camera. I will not ever do this again. Yes. All right. This is it. I hope this video served you. Blah, blah, blah. Much love. Bye-bye.